Welcome to this episode of A Journey for a Better Tomorrow podcast, where it's more than a podcast, it's a movement. This is your host, Mitch Culberson. Today I got a exciting opportunity to interview a young man that's a trailblazer, a young man that's making a scene out there on that basketball court, Mr. Juwan Gary. We'll give you a little bit of his highlights. And before that, I want Juwan just to say hello to that crowd out there.
What's up, everybody? You got Juwan Gary, 803 bound for sure.
All right. Juwan, you played for some power conferences, the SEC, Big Ten, Alabama in the SEC, Nebraska in the Big Ten. You had some highlights across your career, man. You scored over 1,299 basketball points, bro. 644 rebounds, 81 block shots, 124 steals in your college career, man. That's a lot.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot. And I'm extremely proud of you for doing that. Not a lot of people can say that they had that kind of success. But along that kind of success that you had, your career was kind of marked with a lot of injuries, man, and a lot of obstacles you had to overcome. And so I'm going to be very interested in hearing how you overcame a lot of those obstacles, man, a lot of things that it took for you to get through, and also for you to be able to get an opportunity to be able to go into the summer league, be able to play with the Clippers, I think it was, that you were able to do summer league with. And so I want you to be able to share with people out there your journey. I seen you from middle school on up, man, and I know you're real. And so I want you to be able to share with our people out there the things that it took, the decisions you had to make going from leaving from a school where you won state championships over to another school, and then going on that decision to go into college, and then that decision to go to another school, and how that affected you as well. And so I'm gonna leave this floor for you, man. I'm gonna open it up to you. Juwan, it's yours.
Like you said, you got your decisions making sometimes, especially when you're a high ranked player in your state. For sure, you gotta make a high ranked decision when it comes to like your college decision, your career, and all that stuff. So, like you said, left my last year at Great Collegiate my junior year and went to Charlotte, North Carolina to go to West Charlotte and finish my career in high school at Liberty Heights, which it wasn't the like lightest decision, for sure. Playing with your best friends, your day ones who've been on your side since the age of like 4 and 5 years old. So leaving them guys was kind of a tough break for me. But in the day, they knew exactly what I wanted. They knew exactly what I was chasing for. So they never just look at it as like, okay, Juwan just leaving us behind. Like, now it's more like Juwan stepping a step forward for himself in his career, and we're gonna be right behind him no matter what. So when I left, Columbia, it was no bad blood from none of the guys for sure. Like, everybody like supported me throughout every game of, playing back here, playing in Charlotte, even though I'm traveling and stuff like that. Even the chances I got to come home during the weekends from being in school in Charlotte, like, we always just kicking and stuff like that. Just had a good time because we all know, like, we all got one dream, that's to, make our family happy. That's, basketball is only 5% of, this world thing. 95% is everything else. So, did that. Got my body right, got my mindset right to go to the University of Alabama, which I committed my junior year for sure. So going to my freshman year, you get that jitters of, man, like, you finally at the household, you finally out that cocoon where your parents legit watching over you, giving you a curfew, making sure that everything is in line for sure. So now that you in that college where you got a little breathing room for yourself to make your own decisions and make your own mistakes and stuff like that. So, got to my freshman year in summer, Alabama, like, if Alabama is like one of the highest ranked schools out there, not even like sports, I'm talking about just like environment wise. Like, the campus is unbelievable, the fan base is unbelievable, like the amount of celebrities and like, fans that just come through the university and just show much love from the Nick Sabans, from the Nate Oates, like just the community of like how much Tuscaloosa really showed the love to them coaches. So first year, freshman year, like, you get that light in your eyes on the first day of school. You be like, man, what did I get myself into? Like, no doubt. So it's like, I'm going to legit control myself from the party side to the basketball side. Because, once you 18 years old, 19 years old, you're a freshman in college, you 6 away from your family, the only mindset you is like, man, I ain't got nobody to worry about me right now. I ain't got to worry about no curfew. I ain't got to worry about what time I actually got to be in the crib on certain nights and stuff like that. But it really showed your character. It really showed how disciplined can you be when it comes to being, locked in on your job. Of course, you got all the fun, the football games, the tailgates, the parties, and stuff like that. But that's what college is, stuff like that. But how locked in are you to be a professional? Throughout the times of the parties, the football games, all the fun that's going around you and stuff like that. So that was kind of a tough thing, like to actually like get to know and balance at the same time. Cause like growing up, basketball was all I know. Like it wasn't no partying, it wasn't no going out, having fun. Like my fun was going out with my friends. Like that was my biggest fun. Or going to the gym and play pickup at 10 o'clock at night, or whatever time I'm playing pickup. That's my fun. But now the fun change of like not gonna go out, go to a little club and stuff like that. Do a little team bonding on a Saturday night with another team and stuff like that. But you gotta realize that you're a whole student athlete. Like you just can't go out there and not have an image of yourself and just go wild out. So, that was kind of a balance of myself for sure. Then, first official practice of my freshman year to my ACL meniscus. Um, First ever major injury I ever had besides a little ankle sprain, stuff like that. But first ever major injury, you know, didn't know how to handle it, at all, especially being 6 hours away from my family. It's kind of like, man, I'm so used to being under my parents' roof when something's going wrong. I can actually just go home and like legit get, catering, get love and stuff like that, get support just off the back. Now I legit got to depend on, my university to actually like get me through this. Not just on like the basketball and injury side, more like, okay, what is your mental at this point?
Right.
So, like I said, come off my senior year, junior year of high school, like I was that guy, coming out, for sure, winning the state championship, going 1,000 points in high school, getting highly recruited, being a third top, scorer in a Peace Jam UIBL for my last year. Like it's a lot of, accommodations going on throughout this whole year. Then, your first visit practice just turn around that quick. So, your mindset just changed so fast. Like asking, like, why me? Like that's the question I kept asking myself for the full year. Like, why me? Why me?
Wow.
As I'm doing that, going through my rehabs, going through physical therapy, like you just sitting back, just admiring, like, bro, like a lot of people wish they could like get the help of just doing something like that. A lot of people had major injuries and didn't heal from that to this day. Like they just can't be themselves to this day for sure. So, it was tough times. It was definitely tough days for sure. Waking up at 7 in the morning just to do physical therapy, like, that's a tough time because I'm legit trying to get myself to be back the player I was. Like, waking up, physical therapy, rehab on a regular daily basis to where it's like, okay, this is my basketball now. Even though I can't play basketball, I legit got to treat this rehab and attack it like it's a basketball game or a basketball practice or a basketball workout. So, you know, dealing through all that, COVID hit. That's what the biggest thing ever. Like, just ruined a lot of things for sure. So, went from an 8 month, 9 months like rehab, progress. I was on the progress of walking and stuff like that. Then COVID hit to where the 8 months, 9 months turned to a year and a half because like in COVID every gym shut down, facilities shut down, schools shut down. So like you can't even really get in a facility to even work with somebody to help you get recovery and stuff like that. So it's hard to actually like do rehab over a Zoom call. So that's what me and my trainer was doing at the time. Like we on Zoom call every morning doing rehab, but like when you at home, you don't got everything that you was usually using at university. It's kind of hard to adjust that fast with this major injury. So the pace was way more slower to where once we got back on campus, I'm legit probably at the exact same position I was at before COVID even started. So like it's like okay, now we got to ramp up the pace a little bit more. You moved kind of slow for the last couple of months just because you ain't have no facilities, like you ain't have nobody to actually like go work out with and stuff like that. So kicked up the ramp and stuff like that to where I'm thinking like if I move too fast, I'm gonna re-injure it again. Like if I move too fast, like is something ever gonna happen again? If I do like feel like I'm not myself and everything like that. So a lot of just mental stuff going through my head, especially for my first major injury. So that was one of the biggest things for myself as being a well athletic player. Like once you get your ACL meniscus like back to 100%, are you gonna be the exact same player? So once that happened, it was really like all on my own at that point. Once my trainer was like, yeah, you're 100%, like just go out there and play. Of course, the first couple games you just thinking every time you fall, like man, it's gonna tear again, it's gonna tear again. Then time and time again, once you keep falling and you get used to falling, you start to realize, okay, you can get
Right.
right back up for sure.
Right.
So once I realized that, it was no doubt about okay, I'm back to myself. I can be that, that dog. I can be that person that actually go be that athleticism I did actually need. Um, get doing all that for sure. Then after that year, tore my shoulder. Actually a home game in South Carolina. Actually, my first
Wow.
game starting.
Wow.
Came back to the crib. First 4 minutes of the game, dislocated my shoulder of the game. Like I said, dealing with injuries throughout my whole college career, like that's one of the biggest toll I can actually say for a lot of people that actually like watch my game. Like it's not easy. It's not easy to even like go through majority of the injuries that I faced, like a torn labrum, ACL. I had a sinus fracture in my face. From a calf strain, from Achilles and stuff like that, to a lot of injuries to where like man, I got to a point where I was questioning myself, do I still want to play this game of basketball?
Wow.
Like, you know, you got when you playing at a Power Five school, coaches got their jobs.
Right.
Coaches got their job to, bring players in to help the program, to get their status of Power Five basketball school. So while I'm legit, falling back every year of injuries, they bring in higher recruit players every year to where it's like you can't do nothing but to sit back and watch. You can't. I mean, you know how bad it is to actually like, see a player that's legit was in high school, legit, take your position, got that role that coach wanted you to be that first year and stuff like that. So like the only thing you can do is legit be that teammate, and that's what I did. It was kind of hard to not show my personal feelings because in the day I'm not a selfish person overall. Like if I'm a team player, I'm a team player. When I'm playing with you, when I'm sitting on the bench, anything I'm gonna be a team player because at the end of the day we all here for one goal. That's the win. So it was time again. Like dealing with the injuries. Going from a 25 to a 27-minute player from starting injuries come to where you're playing 5 to 7 minutes a game to where you're not playing no minutes a game for sure. So you looking like, what did you do wrong? Like you
Right.
asking yourself, what did you do wrong? Your family asking you, what can you do? You're asking the coaches, like, what's going on, like
Right.
everything like that. But end of the day, if anybody know basketball, it's a business. If
Absolutely.
it's fun, but it's a business at the end of the day. Like it's a fun game to actually love and enjoy playing. But everybody got their role. Everybody got a job to do, and if you don't fulfill that job, they're gonna replace you for sure. So, this is be time. I used to legit be the last one to leave the gym after a game. Like I would legit be the last one. Like no janitors, nobody in the gym. It's probably 11 o'clock, going on 12 a.m. Just legit putting out 1,000 shots,
Trying to get it
just
in.
trying to get it in. Just trying to get that emotion out of,
Right.
dang, I could legit, help my team win tonight. Stuff like that. But I used to legit get done shooting, sit on the phone. My mom just cry. Like we won't say no words. I legit just cry, and she know why I'm crying because once you playing basketball all your life, you just feel like you getting taken advantage of. Like the the plays that you got for yourself is not playing out. So it's like it's hard to even be a parent at that time because like it's not like you actually go up to school, sit down with the coach, like why not playing my son? This is a whole different ball game of life. So she understands where I'm coming from just from the emotional side. So that was probably my biggest support system during my time. Like my family definitely supported me throughout that whole process of, Juwan, we're gonna keep playing this game of basketball because like, I used to be mornings, like multiple countless mornings, like alarm going up. I know I gotta go to practice. I'm legit sitting on the edge of the bed, clothes on, shoes on, legit watching time go by, time getting closer to practice. Like, do you really want to go to do you really want to go to this practice? Like,
Wow.
knowing that I gotta put a mask on, knowing I gotta put that mask on, being a good teammate, being a brother that my own teammates need and stuff like that. But one thing I did definitely was pray to the man of above for sure. Just ask him like, what's next for me? Like, what do you got next? So, I took my character and I took my pride, definitely swallowed it for sure, and just definitely like walked in that practice every day. Was like, what? Even though I'm not playing the minutes that I want to play, I'm gonna still be here. Like y'all need me to like play defense for y'all. If y'all need me to actually like be a 100% practice player, I got y'all. Cause I'm going hard in practice. Then the game come easy to these guys that's playing. So I'm guarding the best player in practice. I'm guarding the point guards. I'm guarding everybody in practice to where I'm getting better just by making them better. And that was my game motivation every day at practice. Like legit go in here and make this team better just by playing hard. Like legit just, doing everything that a guy would never do, which is grab a rebound, hustle, dive on the floor, the small things that legit make the game a difference, make the game very fun for sure. So that was my role during the time. That was my role, and guys embrace that. Like guys actually love me for doing that. I still got friends in the NBA now who legit like, bro, don't ever change who you are. Like, cause of the day, like you playing hard. A lot of people in the NBA is not going to do that. A lot of people in these leagues not going to legit play hard because they feel like I can see their energy on the offensive side, stuff like that. But if you're a player, if you're a basketball player, you're gonna do everything you gotta do to win. So that was my mentality. Like if I'm going to win on this team, I'm going to be the best practice player they needed to be. That's what it was. So, and that year we won a championship. That year we won an SEC championship. So that's one of the big accomplishments for myself. Being part of that team. To actually have a ring and stuff like that. So just actually like embracing that ring, and embracing that, role at the moment was definitely a big step for me. So after that, you asking yourself, do you still want to be classified just that role player?
Right.
Like,
Right.
do you want to take that next step of being that guy where people asking you for favors or asking you for advice and stuff like that? So that's why I put my name in the portal. Took me about legit 3 weeks after the
Okay.
portal even
Okay.
opened to even put my name in the portal, because you thinking so much of like, man, you built your life, you built your home all in the South, like your family are right down the street. They can come to every game, stuff like that, but you're not enjoying yourself even being here. So why would you stick around for people that they're gonna support you either way?
Either way.
So put my name in the portal. I felt like high school again. The recruitment process. Coaches calling your phone, asking what you want, like what's your next step for yourself. Like, and this NIL just kicked
Yeah.
in.
NIL.
So every coach legit asks you like, what's your price, what's your number, and I'm the type of kid like I wasn't spoon fed. I wasn't spoon fed at all. Like I was never the kid to have to get everything I actually wanted. If that was the case, I probably would have dropped the basketball a long time ago. That was the
Right.
case. If my parents give me everything I want, why would I even could see my energy trying to work for myself? So you know, being that kid to actually work for everything. I never had a job, but basketball was always my job. Like I definitely give a grateful to God, to my family of sacrifice all their time and love and support to where I didn't have to get a job at all throughout my whole childhood, because they knew I wanted to go with this basketball stuff. So they made sure I had clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, roof on my head. That's all I needed. So my name went in the portal, and like I said, not yield during the time was a big thing. Kids getting paid,
Right.
half a mil, 500,000. Like that's a lot of money for an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling coaches like I really don't care. Like, what do you pay me? Like, I'm not looking for like the money situation. Like I know if I was surviving over like a $1,300, $1,400 stipend for 3 years, I'm totally fine of what give me of an NIL contract. So AAU coach called me. He like, I got an opportunity for you. He like, have you ever heard of Nebraska? I'm like, where, like, what in the world is a Nebraska? Like, I can't even tell you where Nebraska was. I can't tell you what Nebraska was at in the map. Only people I knew that went to Nebraska was the McGowan brothers. That's the only two I just knew, and I was like, those my family. So I called them like, bro, what is Nebraska, bro? He was like, bro. He said, listen, like they both saying like it's a place that you want to be, but you gonna have to get used to it. I'm like, okay, that sound about the right speed of where I'm trying to get to. So AU coach took the visit with me. It's probably mid January, mid February. It's cold, everybody in the house, so like nobody on the roads and stuff like that. So I'm like, bro, you expect me to come up here, like where's legit nothing out here, like legit there's nothing, college town, fan base legit just out of college. So what's crazy is I legit landed in Lincoln, get to my hotel, my assistant coach from Alabama called me.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Are you in Nebraska right now?" I said, "Yeah." I said it was crazy. Kind of like, how would you know that? He was like, "Cause Fred called me. That's the head coach for Nebraska." He like, me and Fred used to work together during his area at the Bulls. I'm like, that's crazy. He like, yeah, I was the assistant coach with him and Coach Nate, which is the assistant coach in Nebraska. So he like, yeah, they defense is our defense. So I was like, so y'all all got ties and stuff like that. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if a coach could legit call me
Right.
and give me good intel on this school, then that's kind of the right fit for myself. So sitting down, talking to Fred and everything, talking to his staff, talking to his team, stuff like that, and the one word they definitely stood out to me was like, the quote they definitely stood out to me like, the only person that's gonna stop you from being great is yourself.
Wow.
We gonna do everything in our power to make you the best Juwan Gary that you want to be. And when I heard that, I'm like, y'all basically telling me that the work I put in, everything like that, the only thing that's legit stopping me is myself. So I was like, if I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, where do I sign? Like, no doubt about it. Like, I couldn't tell you who a Fred Hoiberg was at all. Definitely anybody out there who's willing to like even explore the Midwest, like do your research on like college coach. Don't just this generation now just go off the money base.
Yeah.
Like they can't even tell you the background of a college coach anymore. So I would definitely say like just doing my research about Fred, knowing his background, know what he went through the years of playing in the league, being an executive, being a head coach and stuff like that. Like he got a lot of knowledge for the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
So my first year, committed to Nebraska, being 19 hours away from home, like you realize, like, man, what did you getting yourself into? You know, in a different environment, different culture, staying with people that you never even met before. So it kind of took a while for me to get adjusted there for sure. Definitely took a depression toll there, like probably like my third month in Nebraska. Just realizing, like, man, like I'm so far from home. Like I don't know what to do. Like I'm legit just going to the gym and coming home. Like I'm so used to legit going home, chilling with my friends. Going to parties stuff like that. But now it's like I legit gotta be strictly on business, and that's where my mindset had to change from being a joyful student athlete to being a serious businessman at this point. So I got my own psychiatrist during that year. This for the mental health stage of being a basketball player because it's a lot to actually be a student athlete when you're dealing with school. You're dealing with practice and everything. Cause a lot of people look for you as like a get out. A lot of people look at you like, okay, we need this player to be X, Y, and Z, but I need a student to be X, Y, and Z. I need a student to be the best student and stuff like that. So you got a lot of stuff on your shoulders, but at the end of the day, how can you carry and how can you balance and stuff like that? So, but at the same time, I'm still thinking about, man, I'm ready to go home. Like, this is not my type of area, like, and everything like that. But, my reason of getting a psychiatrist was to legit talk to somebody that who never could even tell me from a can of paint. Like, legit, like, telling her, expressing her how I feel about being up here, expressing her where I came from and everything like that. And like talking to her for that year legit helped me get through my, first year in Nebraska because like once you realize that you got the love and support of the fan base, of the staff, of like just the whole university, you realize that you're not by yourself. You're never alone up there for sure. And that's why I kept feeling like I kept feeling I was alone. Like, like I said, just being 6 hours away from your family to 19, that's a whole different break and different change that you gotta legit make to yourself. So once I realized that I legit can like open up to this like community for sure, that's why I got very, very much comfortable for sure. Then my second year came around, man, it's probably one of the most joyful year of my college career. Beating the number one Purdue team during that time, making the NCAA tournament for a while that Nebraska done made for sure. So it definitely was a good run for sure during that time. Just to have the excitement to even see Fred, getting back to that groove, seeing Nebraska be back Nebraska again, and also building that fan base love for myself and the team and everything. Like, I would definitely say between Nebraska and Crimson Tide fan base, I don't know which one more up there for sure because they both definitely love their college programs for sure.
Absolutely.
But after my second year, going to my senior year, Fred sat down was like, I need you to be the leader, not that leader, but I need you to be the leader.
The leader. This is my guy.
Yeah, for sure. So once I heard that, I already had accountability of having a voice. Like, I already had accountability of actually like talk to my teammates. You know, correcting somebody if they need to correct it, being a coach, player, stuff like that. So the one I just say I got you. Like, if you need anything out of me, I definitely got you. Because we all grown men here, and we all got one job. And your job is to be a head coach, and our job is to win games. So that's our job for sure. So once he gave me that role of being the leader for sure, that's when I start finding the joy of basketball again for sure. Like, going out there and showing your passion of the game, through the emotions of the game and everything like that, you realize like how much joyful it is to actually like bring everybody with you up there. Like when I'm passionate about the game, the other four players on the court is more passionate than me. Once you get the whole team passionate about this game at what or who we playing, it's a whole different ball game. And then just the voice standpoint, like if you talking, like you can't get stuff done without silence. And when silence is going on, nothing's getting done unless you legit speak a sign language or anything like that. It's not getting done for sure. So once people realized that I was that gnat of the team, consistently talking, stuff like that, they realized that it's not me just being that, aggravating player. It's me legit trying to make this team beneficial of being a great program because we definitely got the players to do it, but we just got to put it all together for sure. So once you got you got three players talking, they got five players. Now you got the whole team talking like to where talking was legit just a first thing. It was a first habit. It was legit first nature to us. Like talking through warm ups, weight room, talking through anything that's very small or big. So for sure, that was a big role for myself this year was just to just be that big brother of the team. Just be that leader for sure. And I definitely embrace that that role. And I'm definitely grateful that Fred gave me that role of being that leader because you know 6 years, 7 years from now, Juwan Gary will not never say he was definitely that voice of Nebraska team. But this my senior year on Nebraska, I would definitely say was the most joyful year for just me personally. Um, just from graduating,
Yeah.
actually finish my year very strong. Finish it with the people that I actually like, call beyond, teammates, definitely my brothers for sure. That's just seeing my family just happy for me. This did a lot of accomplishment, personal goals for
Right.
myself, So now that I finished that chapter is now that I would just step into the real world to where I prepare myself as a young man. I had my downs throughout college. I had my mistakes, but in the days not how your mistakes is what you like learn from for sure. I definitely learned from all my mistakes. Nobody's out here perfect at all.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I definitely say like the mistakes I made throughout my year in college definitely helped me mold to the young man I am today. I could definitely sit down in front of a crowd and definitely just tell like I'm doing now my experience through college. Like college is not easy. It's very rare that you got your one and dones or you having a great college career with no hiccups for sure. But if you do go through any adversity through college, just know that you're never going to get through it alone or you're
Right.
never going to get through it
Right.
without talking to nobody. Because if you legit holding all that anger, emotion in, and all that other stuff you holding in for sure, then your mental stage, whenever you feel like, playing the game of basketball, it's not going to be fully there. Because now you're thinking about a whole different ball game that's not even containing to the ball game that you're actually playing right now. So I would definitely say anybody who's thinking that college is just an easy big role is definitely not,
Definitely
especially
not.
especially not.
Let me ask you this, because going through all you went through, getting that 2025 year, going that senior year, that became your good year. To cap that year off with playing in the first inaugural championships, crown championship games in Vegas, and to be able to cap that off with winning the MVP of the crown championship, to be able to be etched in history in college basketball as the first recipient MVP of that game. What's that like, my guy?
Man,
What's
man,
that like?
what's crazy? We just lost to Iowa senior day. We just lost to Iowa, so emotions going around. Seniors for sure. You like, man, this is your last college game. This is your last home game for sure. So week went by. Coach Fred called a meeting like just the upperclassmen for sure. So we sent his office. He legit asked like got invite to the Crown Invitational and stuff like that. He said it's above the NIT this year. Like they trying to legit make this the new NIT. So he legit just asking like if we do it, we gonna quite 100% in. If we don't, I understand. Some of y'all got dreams, goals, and stuff like that after this year. So he asking around. So everybody legit said we gonna play in this. Like we want to legit keep playing basketball because it's hard to legit just sit in the crib watching March Madness and you not in it. Like that's a terrible feeling. Like you don't want to watch basketball no more at this point. So we all look at each other and said, yeah, we definitely gonna we all gonna buy into it. We all go for 100%. Like we all go for 100%. We can go to another game for sure. So just that week, 2 weeks leading up to the tournament for sure. I ain't never seen a Nebraska team so locked in this ever for a tournament that's really not meaningful at this point. Like it's just a tournament just to send off, the seniors on a good note. Like, some of these guys come back next year. Some of the guys, freshmen, red shirt freshmen, they legit looking for it next year. So most of us not. So, I ain't never seen from a coach's standpoint, from a player standpoint, like how locked in we was for sure. So, go out to Vegas, your first mindset is like, man, we in Vegas. Like, gonna go out here, have a ball and stuff like that. But my coaches kept saying we don't got one mission. That's every quote he kept saying before every game. What's the mission? We don't got one mission. That's the win. So every win, like you just feel the joy. You just feel the joy of every win of from the players, from the coaches, from the fan base. If anybody came to that game, you would realize how many fans was out there in Vegas. Like you would think you was in Nebraska again for sure. So going to that, last game, of the Crown Invitation, like you actually get that feeling like, man, this is it. So legit last one in your college career, how you feeling go out with it for sure. So I went out there with a legit a clear mind, like legit a blank mind. When we win, when we lose, I'm still gonna be happy at the end of that. Cause I legit finished my year with the people that I wanted to finish my year with. I made it to the point where I'm playing on a Sunday, a March Madness with the same Final Four team that's playing on Sunday on the March Madness team on everything. So just having that feeling of even doing that was all I could ask for. Having this fan base around me one more time, having my coaches, setting this job as player one more time, be hearing my name called one more time. I couldn't ask for no better feeling for sure. So, playing that game, winning that game, winning that tournament, winning that championship, winning that crown was definitely the biggest cap of my year for sure. It was definitely one of the things I definitely wanted to do, and I couldn't ask for no blessing. Couldn't ask for no better year than that. Couldn't ask for no better ending than that for sure. And I definitely give love to all the guys that definitely supported me and definitely praised me after that. Crown invitation on the MVP.
I think I even seen in the game you might have got injured at one point in the game and kind of went out, and now but you came back. And after you came back, I think you took it to a whole nother level, man.
Man, it was crazy that I actually got elbow in the head. I'm cutting I got cut middle of my head, and my adrenaline was so like so high. I'm in the back. I got blood legit dripping in my eyes. I'm not even focused on the blood. I'm legit watching the game on the TV. I'm legit just sitting there. They putting like some type of some stinger on my head on the cut to where I don't feel no sting. I don't feel nothing. I'm legit. My adrenaline is just so high. I'm ready to get back on the court. So blood stopped. Trying to look at me. He like, eyes good? I said, yes, sir. He said, you ready to go back out there? I said, yeah. The cut good? He like, yeah. I'm like, shoot, come on then. So after I did all that, man, I ran on the court. Coach said, Juwan, you good? Shoot, that's when I got on in. At that point, I'm like, shoot, it's 110%. It's 110% or zero.
You went in. You went in. You went really in on the bid, and so that was exciting to see. And I'm glad that you made it through those chapters of your high school, college career, and now we on that next level on a professional tip. You had that opportunity out there at summer camp. I want you to give us a little insight into what that's like, and then let us know what that next chapter is right now, because I understand that you done let's meet drown on paper there. You done signed somewhere, so I'll let you announce that. But go ahead and give me that insight.
I don't know, just being in some league, just having an NBA jersey on, like that's always a blessing of mine. It's always been a dream of mine, no matter how it looks. Having that first summer league, under my belt was definitely an experience. You meet guys that you've been watching for years. that was your favorite players, stuff like that. It's very surreal, definitely, to even be in that environment. But you take from it that this all is just a business. It's very a business. Like you got your fun, you got your joy for the game of basketball, but every single guy in this court have a family to feed,
Right.
and they legit playing for that family. Like even though y'all playing as a group right now, but
Right.
is every player on this court legit got one job. They legit put food on the table for their family for sure. So you see different basketball there. You see a basketball game where a player might go for 40 and 50 points and legit don't really care about W or L. You might got somebody who go out there and will give you 100% and score 0 points and really care for the team and stuff like that. So you get a lot of difference around a lot of looks of like who really playing basketball for the right reason, and who playing basketball for just themselves type stuff. So, but overall, just being out there in Vegas, from being a kid, from watching some league and stuff like that, to actually like being in there has definitely was surreal. Like it was definitely a moment that I always gonna embrace and take from it. Always gonna learn a lesson for sure. Seeing him play on the Clippers, meeting Teron Lue, who actually is who played at Nebraska,
Okay.
who actually a legend in
Right.
Nebraska
Right.
for
Absolutely.
sure. So it's being around him, taking his advice, taking his intel on certain things for sure. Meet some of the players like James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, stuff like that. It was very, very a blessing. Even like talk to them guys, and like even old time players. Like you had, if anybody know who Amir Johnson is, like he's definitely is one of them guys that actually embrace having conversations with and stuff like that. Just a lot of people throughout the league. Then you get to see your hometown here, like your hometown grown, like guys like G.G. Jackson. Like I ran into him out there. Just seeing him out there, definitely realized like, man, South Carolina just not quite a quiet city to actually like have players that come out. Like we actually got some real like good players that come out of the state and fulfill that NBA dream, fulfill that professional role. So even just going out there, seeing him and seeing other guys that definitely man, they face up throughout this basketball stuff definitely was a blessing to see. But after that, definitely told myself that NBA wasn't there yet. It might not be there. At the end of the day, it's a lot of leagues now in this world where you get paid millions and millions of dollars and legit enjoy yourself of it. So,
Absolutely.
I just signed my first professional contract to a team in Belgium, going out there for sure. Definitely can't wait. Can't wait to play that team basketball again. Definitely can't do that. But just that year, I want to be in a pro. Like I taught myself. I molded myself to be a professional young man. Now it's time to put my skills to the test. Time to legit go out to a whole different country. Legit adapt to like a different environment to where I'm not used to. But in the day, it's gonna be a joyful time. It's nothing better than going overseas and being in a country that you never even thought you'd ever be in for sure. But definitely a blessing. Couldn't ask for no better start of my professional career. No matter how it looks, no matter how it goes. But in the day, I'm a pro. Um, I can legit make my family happy just by doing what I love to do, which is give team play basketball.
Yeah. And know that you got family here
Yes, sir.
that's going to continue to be looking out for you, man. That's continue to be following you along this journey. Man, you shared a lot with us today, and there's going to be so many valuable nuggets pulled from this for a lot of people, man. And I want our young people to know, this shit is for real.
Oh yeah.
If you really want it, you got to really want it, and it ain't gonna just come easy. And so, being a student athlete to being a professional basketball player now, and to be able to continue to follow your dream and your legacy is going to be what it is, man.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm extremely proud of you. I'm excited for this next chapter for you. And I want you to kind of lead us out on just this thought here. If you had to offer any advice to anybody out there about what next for them, what would it be?
Never be scared to make mistakes. Everybody's legit trying to be that perfect player, person. End of the day, I feel like the perfect people are people who make the most mistakes and learn from them.
Wow.
I feel like if your mistakes, was a learning lesson to you to where you use your mistakes in the next life of yours, and now you legit can see the difference from what you did before and what you're doing now, then you're 100% better than what you was last year. I use that 1% quote every day. No matter I don't do use it just for basketball, but like I'm legit 1% better every day. Like this year, like my New Year's resolution this year is become more close to the male above. So 1% better for myself is to legit read 5 to 10 pages of the Bible this year. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple of months for sure, just to open myself up more to the man up above for sure. Kind of day, like I'm a Christian man. I'm always gonna believe that for sure. But nothing's possible. Nothing is easy to get through if you don't got the belief in that or the belief in yourself to get through that for sure. So if you scared to make mistakes, then you're gonna make mistakes to where you're gonna run into a brick wall and you're gonna know what to do for yourself. So definitely don't be scared to make mistakes.
Wow, wow, I love hearing that. And that was actually one of the questions that I had on here about you. What role did your faith play in all this? And you shared that with us, man, and you shared it with us on a large scope. And so again, man, I'm extremely impressed, extremely proud. To God be the glory for you, brother. The name of my business is A Better Tomorrow, Health and Wellness. And so my goal with a journey for a better tomorrow is be better tomorrow than you were the day before. You line right with that, brother, values and all. And so excited to have you here, man. And I can't show you nothing but love. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Nah,
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Again, we want to thank our guest today, Juwan Gary, for gracing us with his presence, being able to share his journey with us. It was a very interesting journey there, and he put a lot in. He put a lot in, and he showed a lot of resilience throughout it. And so again, we want to thank Juwan Gary for showing up. We want to move on to the last phase of our show today. And this phase, we're going to do just a mental health tip. And with this mental health tip, it's just going to try to give you a little tool to put in your toolbox. I'm going to give you a tip from what we call dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. Founder Marsha Linehan, she's credited with creating and the structure of DBT and many of the practices of it. And so DBT basically is this. It's considered a wise mind approach. We have what's called our emotional mind, where we react from. We also have our rational mind, our Dr. Spock mind, this way type mind. And the wise mind approach is basically taking an intersection of both of those, the rational and emotional, so that you're not acting too much on the emotional side, not acting too much on that Dr. Spock. It's only this way side. And so that wise mind approach is what makes up DBT therapy. And in the context of DBT, there are several different categories, and I'm going to give you a distress tolerance skill today to put in your toolbox. Distress tolerance there. So when things get you up and antsy and get you keyed up, we're going to use this specific technique. This specific technique that I'm going to talk to you about today is called the STOP technique. STOP. The S stands for stop. Take a step back. Take a deep breath. Breathe in about 3 seconds in, 6 seconds out. The T, of course, was take that deep breath. The O in that is observe. Observe what's going on inside you, how you feeling, what you thinking about what's going on, and observe what's going on outside you, what people are doing, how people are moving in that space. And the P stands for proceed mindfully. When you proceed mindfully there, you're using that wise mind, and you don't want to act or overreact to the situation. So in proceeding mindfully with that P, what you want to ask yourself is this simple question. Am what I'm thinking about doing or getting ready to do, is it going to make things better or worse? And so that should help improve your decision making in the moment, as well as your impulsivity or your tendency to maybe act or react impulsively to a situation. And that again is called the STOP technique. STOP. Stop. Don't act right immediately. Take a deep breath. Observe what's going on inside you, outside you. And then you want to proceed mindfully. asking yourself, and what I'm thinking about doing or getting ready to do, is it going to make matters better or worse? All right. That concludes our segment for today. And again, I want to thank y'all for listening. For anyone out there, if you want to be able to be a part of the show, or if you have questions you want to ask, make sure you on that Ask Mitch or Angie segment there, go ahead and push a question forward for us. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you. We want to continue to improve our shows, and we want to make sure this is platform for everyone to be able to have a voice. And so as we journey forward, looking to become the best version of ourselves, we want to continue to thank y'all for reaching out. Join us, like us, subscribe on the platforms that are out there, wherever you get your podcasts at. Thank you again.